Uh, so after graduating in 1992, I worked in a company in Nashik called as Mode 1A, the old
Sir,
Chicago radios. Yeah, that you will see. Sorry, Monali, you saying something?
sir, sorry to interrupt you. Can we introduce from our side or?
Yeah, yeah. Please do introduce from your
Ah,
side.
yes,
Okay,
we have planned something. Yes.
okay. Sure,
Huh.
sure.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Akshada, are you there? Akshada?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Should I?
So, no, I will just introduce initially and then we can start.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So, should I start, sir? Samir sir and Vijay sir?
Please, please, please. Whenever you think it's ready, I was just trying to sort of warm
Yes.
up to have a
So I just,
conversation.
yes, I can see about 30 students have joined and now more will join. So I will just start the session. Yes, so good evening one and all. I, Professor Monali Mahajan from Computer Engineering Department, working as an assistant professor in the same department from 2008. So currently now I am teaching to second year and the final year students and third year also. So why we have gathered here for a session on power of one. So before that, on behalf of entire computer department, I welcome you, sir. Uh, so Samir sir is our esteemed alumni and currently in the USA, and he is the alumni of our computer department and has the vast experience in business executive. So I welcome you, sir, for the today's session. Uh, just the question is why we have planned this session is for TY students, because now TY students will be doing the internship in the next semester and now they will be joining the industry, or we can say the professional world, and so they should have the brief, or what we can say the hello.
Yes, yes, we are there. I
Yes.
someone was telling us.
So, so they should know about the teamwork, the collaboration, how they should interact with the peers and so on. So this is the session that will help you to build these skills in the students. With this, the Agrawal sir has also joined. He is also alumni of our computer department. So I welcome Agrawal sir also. And in communication with the Agrawal sir, so both of this, that is Samir sir and the Agrawal sir, are planning to provide international opportunity to our students. As I have already conducted a small session to our TY students regarding this, that how this internship will be provided, which are the areas and so on. So these and the similar sessions, including the internship opportunities, are offered by the non-profit organization, that is 50IsNifty. So under this, we are doing this in communication with our department. So I welcome you, sir. Now I request, now I request Akshada to just introduce the sir, and then we can start with the search session. Akshada, next to you. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Very good evening to one and all present over here. I am Akshada, and today I'm very glad to welcome and introduce Mr. Sameer Dania, sir. Sir is a customer and market focused business executive with 30 years of track record in sales and business development. Post his graduation in computer engineering from our own institute, he has completed his MBA in marketing with distinction from BVP, followed by an advanced management program from IIM Ahmedabad. He has proven ability to win today while building the business of tomorrow. As a great believer of collaboration and teamwork, his last five leadership profits lead to establishment of multi-million annual revenue. And those companies which he has been a part of are Nuance Inc., Tech Mahindra, Wipro, Philips, and Apple Inc. As a technology and an evangelist who has worked with AI since 1997, he has led the team at Nuance Inc. to develop first India English automatic speech recognition engine, followed by India's first text-to-speech engine in 2003. We are very glad to have you, sir, today here. And we've seen that you love intelligent conversation and have a rich and diverse working experience. And also, we are very glad to know that after being a founding member at our institute in Rotak Club, you have continued your drive to pay back in small measures to society by being a Paul Harris Rotarian. And yeah, sir is very super excited to speak with all of us and share his insights. So, without a further ado, I would like sir to take over and continue further.
So thanks a lot, Akshada. And hello to you all. Really appreciate the opportunity initiated by Vijay in conjunction with the college. It's always a pleasure and an honor to address students. And the purpose is very simple. The purpose is I have a selfish interest, and my selfish interest is I get energized when I speak with youngsters. We are old now. We've been in business for 30 plus years. Okay, you are the future of the country and the world at large. So the intent is that you share, and then I know you expect the same level of sharing and caring as you propagate and grow through your years of life. It's like a banyan tree. Okay, the bigger you grow, okay, the more you spread your shadow, okay, and more you take people under you, under your tutelage, advise them in your capacity. So I think it's important, as I start this session, I have a few slides that I have laid out, okay, for you, all pictorial in nature, so that I give you a sense of what is important as you get into a professional journey. Let me tell you, it's a treadmill. Okay, so once you get on it, there's no getting off. Okay, and you will continue to run on it at a pace that you seek to run on. So, as I was alluding to earlier, my firm belief as I get into slides is that fundamentally nothing much has changed in business. Okay, those of you whose fathers or family are in business, धंधे में कुछ बदल ही नहीं हुआ है. Okay, so business remains the same, fundamentals remain the same. When I say fundamentals remain the same, I think today business works the same way as it used to work 30 years back. It still works on a motive of growing the top line, which is the revenue piece, increasing the bottom line, which is the profitability side, and enhancing customer experience. Okay, those three fundamentals were there even when we started our careers. That said, what has changed is the rate of pace of change. Okay, it's never been so fast before. Okay, and having said that, it will never be ever so slow ever again. So bear that in mind. We guys have been privileged. We have seen the Y2K. We have seen the financial crisis. We have seen more and more compute power come onto the mobile. We have seen the end of the cassette and the CD era. Okay, we've seen the power of the mobile take over anything and everything. We were fortunate to see various form factors. We saw things happening over the mobile, over the TV, over the big screen. All screen formats remain, but the usage has vastly changed. Brands that such as Nokia, okay, that used to exist earlier, or Kodak that used to exist earlier, have become defunct. Now, what that means is that you will need to evolve. Okay, and evolution is a constant process. It won't take centuries for that evolution to take place. You will possibly live in an era where you will have to reskill yourself every few years. It's very difficult to put a number, much as I would like to. I can't do crystal ball gazing, but for sure, as I read and keep myself well versed, one thing is for sure that all of you who will join professional mainstream in the next year and thereabouts will need to reskill yourself at least 7 to 8 times in your professional career. So bear that in mind. And that's what I will also allude to in my deck to say what is the essence and how do you sort of strike a bond between work and life. Okay, what do you value more? How do you create a balance? And most importantly, the power of network. So the power of network is visible today. Vijay and I and ourselves, we go back a good 35 years. Okay, he started this organization to help others And I sort of volunteered, okay, to say, okay, fine, I would also like to participate because I think it's a great idea to pay back and to contribute, right? So the power of networking is very important, gentlemen. Okay, again, it is very fundamental. We are humans by nature. We are social animals. So it's important that you continue to have bonding and continue to create a network which thrives over a period of time. Okay, so I would have expected, to be honest, on this call, that a few of you, having seen that, okay, this is a gentleman from our alumni going to present to us today. Okay, obviously, some of you would, majority of you wouldn't have even been born when I passed out. Okay, but would have got onto LinkedIn and tried to connect. Okay, so that's what you guys should try and endeavor to do. The guys who will succeed tomorrow will be the guys who have the ability to network across. Okay, so please bear that in mind. Okay, and I'll take a small pause here. If there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, slides is just a way to keep ourselves honest and directed. But my endeavor is to get a correct emphasis on collaboration, the power of one. Okay, and at the end of this entire stuff, I'll try and show you two videos. Okay, I had them in between, but I thought it'll disturb the flow, so I've kept them at towards the end and walk you through a few slides about about what I just alluded to. Anything that you guys want to ask, please raise your hand on the screen. Anything that you would like to hear, much happy to contribute. Okay, old hags, been in business for 30 plus years, so I'm sure we will have something to share with you and address some of your concerns. The idea is the more you interact, the more you interact on and join industry forums, the better you will get prepared. Okay, I'm an army. Both of us are, Vijay and ourselves are both come from a defense background. And there's an old army saying, which says that the more you sweat in peace, the less you will bleed in war. So it's important that you look at these occasions and these opportunities to learn, because that will help you when you really need it. Okay, in professional life and in career. So anything that you want to, guys, as I said, I volunteered to say, please raise your hands. I will start the deck in a minute. Okay, so that we can get started. Where is the share one?
You can share on your screen.
I know I am viewing it right now. I've seen that logo earlier. Is it because it's getting recorded that the sharing is not coming up? Just a minute. Give me a minute, guys. Yeah, share. It's come up now. Yeah. All right. Is my screen visible? Are you guys able to hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So I'll get started. Okay. This was all a preface. I'm sorry for the long preface, but as you gain in years, you tend to talk a lot. Okay, so please bear with me. So essentially, I'm talking about juggling 5 balls in life: work, family, health, friends, and spirit. These are 5 things that you will juggle irrespective of where you are and what you're trying to do professionally. Okay. And as you would see, okay, work is something that you can still get back on. Okay, should you not perform well in a particular job function, you want to join sales, you want to join solutioning or pre-sales, you want to join delivery, you want to join development. Okay, at some stage you feel, okay, fine, I don't think I'm cut out for it. Okay, I would like to move on to something else. You have the choice. The remaining 4, okay, which is in terms of family, health, friends, and spirit, should they get marked or nicked, it's very difficult for one to sort of revive yourself. Okay, everything is possible. There is the art of the possible today that you guys would experience as you get on to with Gen AI. But work can still recover. The remaining 4 need to be handled with kids' gloves, and you need to strike a correct balance. There's a short speech on this. by the ex-CEO of Coca-Cola, and I'll play that at the end. Otherwise, it gets too much of to and fro. So I'm consciously avoiding it, but I'll bring that to bear. Then I move on to relationships. Okay, and we talked about, Madam alluded to when we started out to say it's all about teamwork and people management, right? You, uh, when you stay in a family as well, okay, and I constantly keep saying this to folks, which is that what you do at home is quite similar to what you do at work. There's not much of a difference. And let me elaborate on this a bit further. At home, okay, you will manage aspirations. You will manage expectancies from your parents, brothers, sisters, okay, your elders, right? Similarly at work, you manage expectations. You are given KPIs to work. You are given targets at home to say, this is the percentile I want you to score. This is where I want you to study, and so on and so forth. So there is an expectation matching that you will do in both places. At home too, you do budgeting. Okay, you will budget your finances, you will budget your time. Same at work. You will budget your finances, you will budget your time. So in more ways than one, okay, you will see that it is quite similar to what you do at home that you bring to work. Here you have a more well-defined scope or area to work in. And quite honestly, my belief is that as long as you're in any customer-facing role, whether it is development, whether it is solutioning, whether it is implementation or delivery, whether it is in sales, okay, or whether it is in support, you are well taken care of. Just remember that any profile that you pick up, be in a customer-facing role, because that's where you learn, right? And the endeavor in the initial years has to be create a solid foundation so that you can grow. Now, to that effect, teamwork becomes very important. Okay. Also remember that when you get into professional life, not everyone will report into you. Okay. And you will report into multiple people. Okay. So you will have something which is called a straight line reporting. As you grow up, you will have dotted line reporting as well. So the world will not report to you. You will work in a hub and spoke model. You may have colleagues who may be in different parts or different continents in different time zones. So it becomes important that you have a relationship which furthers teamwork. Okay. And you will need to do people management. Just as you do relationship management at home amongst your brothers, sisters, and your family, you will need to do the same thing with when you get to work. So if I read from the text on this slide, some relationships are like Tom and Jerry. I'm sure all of you guys would have watched Tom and Jerry as you grew up. Okay. So it's a very harmonious relationship. Okay. They will tease you. They will knock down each other. They will irritate each other, but yet they can't live without each other. Same thing happens at work. You will agree to disagree. You will put your viewpoints across, but yet you will know how to work in a harmonious environment and drive business outcomes. Anything and everything that you do, you please remember that you will need to manage it from a standpoint of outcomes. Okay, whether it is in terms of delivery of a project in timelines, whether it is development of a code in timelines, whether it is trying to close a business from sales standpoint. So teamwork and people management are going to be very, very important. And as you grow, okay, I alluded to this earlier also, it is important for you to build and sustain your friendship. Okay, grow your network and sustain your friends. Okay, it is going to be a struggle the first 7-10 years, any profession, whether it's engineering, medicine, the armed forces, civil services, anywhere, are foundation years. So try and work together to strengthen your foundation and build a network of friends who typically fight for you. They will respect you. They will include you. They will encourage you. And you can use them as a sounding board. Okay. And when need arises, stand by you. There are countless instances, okay, of some of us who have grown together. We may have geographies may have separated us, but we've remained in touch and are around to sort of hear and become a sounding board, if not be there physically to support. So nurture a system of collaboration. Okay, there are a couple of terms that you will hear, and we follow the Americans a lot. So you will hear something which is called as an EQ, which is an emotional quotient. you will also hear something which is called as a CQ, which is a collaborative quotient. So remember that you will need to work collaboratively. Together, what you can achieve will be far in excess of what you can achieve individually. Okay, so be good and learn how to collaborate and create an ecosystem where all of us can survive and thrive. And the starting point for that is desire. You need to be hungry from within. Okay, when I say hungry, I would go to the extent of saying follow the Japanese philosophy. Okay, the Japanese, if you know, okay, only consume food which is around 80% of what they need. All right, so the hunger has to be unsatiable. The hunger has to be continuous. The desire to keep learning has to be continuous. I can give my own example. Okay, sales guy's life is very short. Okay, if some of you have watched the movie QSQT. Okay, we used to call it QSQT. It is a movie from our times. Okay, Amir Khan movie. Kayamat se Kayamat tak. In sales, we used to say quarter se quarter tak. So 1 quarter is 3 months in sales. So you survive by the month and by the quarter, right? So which means that you have to constantly keep moving. In sales and business development that I was in predominantly as a function, you are as good as your last sale. You can't be sitting on your laurels, which essentially means that you need to keep moving and upping the scale for you to grow professionally and, to what I said earlier, be relevant. Guys, please remember, in whichever function you are in, whether it is again at home or at work, you have to be relevant. Okay, always visualize this to say, hey guys, am I relevant? Okay, am I doing something which is adding value? You may not own the entire project. You may be doing a portion of the work. You may only be doing animation, for example. You may be doing only coding, or you may be only doing delivery or implementation. But your job is very important in that unified delivery that we give to our customer. So remember that you need to be very objective, okay, and continue to be relevant. And starting point for that is the hunger or the desire, okay, to say that, okay, fine, I constantly want to keep learning. And that's like to be like a sponge. Okay, there are experiences that we will draw from, and you need to absorb it all. Okay, and life is going to be a roller coaster. Okay, whether you love the roller coaster in practical life or not, it will not be uniform. In a way, it's good. Okay, it teaches you a lot. Okay, everyone will go through some pitfalls in life, whether professionally or personally. And just as I said, just as you have setbacks personally, you may have setbacks professionally as well. Okay, but that should not deter us from continue to keep striving. There are countless stories of what you will hear, whether it's the ant story or it's the Muhammad of Ghaznavi story to try and invade into India where people failed and kept trying. Okay, you have to keep at it. In your case, you don't have a choice. And when I say you don't have a choice, okay, the choice is between becoming extinct or being relevant, right? So none of us want to become a dinosaur. None of us want to become extinct, but before you realize it, technologies are changing. So while the business fundamentals have remained constant, the technologies are evolving. And hence I said that, per some articles that I read, you guys will need to skill and reskill yourself 7 to 8 times in your professional career. Gone are the days, and some of you must have heard of Japanese employment, where people used to join a firm and retire from the same firm. Those days have gone. Now, what will keep you onto a job is your ability to collaborate, learn, unlearn, and learn again. Okay, and doing all this being relevant. Small example, when you get into, for example, when you get into a meeting, you should try and question yourself and feel free to ask, to say, what is the objective of this particular call? You'll be pulled into plenty of calls. There's nothing wrong in asking what is the objective of this call. At the end of it, if you're working, you're starting your career, you will have a team leader, you will have a supervisor who will be your friend, mentor, guide, as well as a supervisor. Ask him, okay, fine, what is the expectation that you have from me? And then measure up yourself up to that expectation or try and exceed that expectation. Okay, when we started our careers in sales 30 years back, an executive or a sales executive in IBM was not allowed to go and entertain a customer till 13, 14 months. That is the level of training that they used to give. Today, you will be asked to deliver within 13, 14 days. Okay, so keep learning, act like a sponge. Okay, and then there are things that you can control and things that you can't control. Okay, don't get into politicking. Okay, don't get into one-upmanship. Continue to do your work. And some of you, for as an example, you would have seen those buoys that they put in water on lakes, rivers. Okay, they keep floating, right? So learn from that. And what is the learning from that? You can't keep a good thing down. You try and put a buoy down, it will keep coming up. So there are things that you can control, okay, which is, and things that you cannot control. So take care of things that you can control, and things outside the periphery, let them be. Okay, know how to ignore, have the attitude of gratitude. Okay, and things that you can control are your own words, your own actions, your own effort, learning from your mistakes, and your behavior as a whole. Okay, be collaborative in nature, guys. I'm repeating that because you will, as you join organizations, irrespective of the size, okay, know how to collaborate. You do it at home also. Please carry that same nature to work. People will recognize you. And needless to say, okay, you have to be good. For anything to move forward, you have to be good. And everyone can't be good in everything. So everyone's job is relevant. Okay, as I said, be relevant and drive yourself on outcomes. I used to work for a company, Wipro, and had the great pleasure and honor of hearing Mr. Premji on several occasions. He used to say, out of many things that sort of registered in my head, one of the things that registered in my head was his statement to say, when you hit your bed at night, okay, think about the day you spent, okay, and have you earned or have you delivered what you were supposed to deliver? Basis that, you will have a good night's sleep. Second thing that I've sort of learned from there is to say that, okay, fine, there are no shades of gray. You guys are all born in a digital era. It's 0 or 1. Okay, always do the right thing. Okay, so there is no shade of gray. Either it's right or it's wrong. And to that, he used to say, don't do a thing which if tomorrow it comes out in the papers and today social media is all over the place, okay, which makes you or your family ashamed. So things you can control is what you should try and drive. Learning is one of them. Ability to act like a sponge, learn, unlearn, learn, unlearn. Okay, that's going to be a very random cycle in your cases. Embrace change, as I said, okay, and take chances. There is always going to be a net which will be available to you. God Almighty is there. He'll spring that the net up for you. Okay, whatever happens for a reason, and it's no different in business as well. You will not have a straight linear growth. No, none of us had it. Okay, you will not continue to grow just as human body doesn't continue to grow for all times. But at the end of it, what you will have is the goodwill of people that you would have nurtured and grown. Okay, so you would have heard in my introduction as well. I believe it's important to pay back to society. Okay, in your own small measure. It's not necessary to be paying in rupees or dollars. Okay, you can contribute towards the creation of cleanliness, towards putting up some some signages, etc., blood banks, the other ways to contribute. But the attitude of gratitude and the ability to pay back in your own small measure should remain imbibed in you. Okay, so be experimental, develop hobbies, develop expensive tastes. Okay, and I'm sort of harboring on this. Develop expensive hobbies, whether it is in terms of gardening, exotic plants, whether it's in terms of bonsai, whether it's in terms of owning a bike, whether it's in terms of taking a trek, okay, or buying some new hiking boots or shoes. The more you have such hobbies, which keeps your mind active and your body active, the more you will work hard to strive towards achieving those goals. Okay, so inculcate some hobbies, okay, and embrace change. Spirit is another factor that we talked about. Okay, when I started it in terms of juggling of 5 balls. Okay, this is a very important line. The smile on my face doesn't mean my life is perfect. It means I appreciate what I have and what God has blessed me with. This is what I was alluding to earlier. The attitude of gratitude is very important. Be thankful for what you have. Okay, and that will keep you mentally happy. That will keep your ecosystem very happy. Okay, and it will make you strive for bigger and better things in life. Okay, and all these things don't necessarily need to be material things. Okay, I have Vijay on the call here. He started to sing today. Gives him happiness. Okay, he used to try that when we were in the hostel as well, but he's really developed that. He used to play one organ earlier, which is mouth organ. Professor Jain used to be there. He learned that in college. Okay, now he's trying to play the guitar. Right. So learning never ends. It's a sponge. Okay, and then try and pay back in your own small measures. Okay, pay back to society. As I said, don't get into politicking. Okay, look at what you can contribute, and ultimately, no one can keep a good thing down. It will keep popping up. Okay, like the river, like the boy that I told you. Okay, it will keep popping up. So great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people. So people is the politicking piece that I'm talking about. So focus on your job, keep learning, keep propagating goodwill, okay, and have the attitude of gratitude. I think this is something that you guys would be very close to. Okay, we also had our first shade of Ganpati Bappa when we were there at in Nasik, and there's a great amount of learning. Okay, if you look at Lord Ganesha as well. Okay, in terms of his big head, talking about thinking out of the box, big eyes to look beyond what you have, and then obviously the laddus towards on the plate. Okay, which is in terms of giving and sharing. Read through it. Okay, I for one, very individually, and everyone to himself. Okay, believe there's a lot of merit in some of our holy scriptures and our learnings. Okay, keep reading, guys. Okay, keep reading, keep networking, keep reskilling, be good. The roads will open up. The roads will open up automatically for you. For those of you, and I'm sure quite a few of you would be bitten by the bug of investing. Okay, and more so investing in the stock market. Okay, it's been very buoyant and growing. A few tips, okay, which are there from Warren Buffett on taking risks, on investments, on earnings and spendings. Okay, your parents will also keep telling you save for a rainy day. Okay, that's changed over a period of time. Okay, there's enough cover that one can build. Okay, which can support you financially as well. But save a percentage, okay, of your savings, of your earnings into savings. Okay, because unlike the Western world from where Vijay comes, I'm still based out of India, which is in the US. There is no social security that we have in India. So if you plan yourself early, and I recommend everyone, including you guys, as you join first year of your job, open up something which is called as a PPF, a public provident fund. It pays for itself. It's tax free, higher rate of interest, whatever small amount, but start early. Okay, so start early, start saving, and things will sort of pan out for yourself. Okay, read through this. I will be happy to share the slide. I don't want to read through every slide that I put in there. And this is a very important aspect. I used to be in the hiring panel in my past life when I used to work for Tech Mahindra. We used to go to IIMs and tier one institutes to hire. And this is a question which used to come up to me very often. Two questions used to come up. One is, what kind of career growth can I expect? And the second question used to be, what is the work-life balance that I could possibly strive for? Guys, folks on the call, let me tell you, no one owes you any one of these two parameters. Growth is entirely yours. How you drive yourself, how you are inquisitive. Some of the larger companies give you job rotation every 2 years. Okay, but it's up to you how you skill, reskill, and keep moving up the ladder. Take risks. I've gone to the extent of taking a posting in Africa. Okay, why? Because that would have led me to grow a bit faster. Okay, that's what my global head told me. Sometimes you have to take risks and take the plunge. Everything will not be perfect. So why don't you move for 2 years there? Things things take their own shape. It so happened that I only had to spend 1 year there, and 1 year I spent in Dubai. Okay, because their global headquarters was out of Dubai. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that no one will owe you a career. It's for you what you make out of it. All tools will be available. They will be available to the entire mass and mass for everyone. How you drive from that tool is entirely your prerogative. Work-life balance is very critical. Okay, and as a culture, as a race, as a community, we Indians struggle with it. Okay, we really do not know how to enjoy a break, and this is a typical representation, I would say, of of someone who's Indian. Okay, he tries to take a vacation. Okay, and during that vacation, he can't resist from starting to attend to his own meals. Okay, why? Because he has that fear. Okay, to say, am I relevant? He starts to have an existential crisis, and in the process, okay, he or she sort of uh, spoils his entire vacation timeline. But that said, work-life balance is entirely yours. I said earlier, have some hobbies, and you don't need hours for those hobbies, guys. Okay, I picked up a hobby to say that, okay, fine, I will start reading books in many of my travels. So I used to pick up a book, and trust me, I have at least a dozen half-read books. Okay, because I used to pick them up for the flight, but could never complete them. Not a good thing to narrate, but the fact of life is, okay, it's better than not having read anything. Correct. So read. Okay, reading is a very good habit, whether you look at printed media or social media, and try and strike a good balance between work and life. You do not need more than 45 minutes to an hour to pursue a hobby. I was alluding to Africa to you earlier. While I was there for around 12 plus months, we had the best of facilities. Okay, this was in Uganda, and we had a fully furnished golf-facing apartment structure. We had sauna, we had a squash court, we had swimming pool, we had tennis courts. But the guys used to struggle. Okay, and I'm talking about youngsters. They used to struggle. Why? Because they didn't have any hobbies. Okay, so if you inculcate some hobbies, okay, which is outside your work, it helps you strike a correct work-life balance. Plus, it gives you a lot more of satisfaction. Okay, so again, I don't want to be prescriptive on what you can follow, what you cannot follow. Everyone to himself, whether it's a trek, whether it is gardening, whether it's reading a book, whether it's cooking, whether it's driving a new bike or taking a trip. Okay, but develop some hobbies and then try and strike a correct work-life balance. This is a pictorial representation, which is to say that typically people don't know how to strike the correct balance. Again, that onus is up to you. Okay, and for pursuing a hobby, I am repeating it. You can't go to a gym for 3 hours, right? If you sweat it out, you can sweat it out in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, morning, evening. So what do you need? An hour. If you're taking care of the elderly, you spend half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, good enough. Okay, similarly for any other hobby, okay, which is to strike a balance. And obviously, as I said earlier, it's important to be forgiving. Okay, ignoring things. Okay, sometimes it is very nice, and Lord Ganesha will also teach you that. Okay, in the earlier slide that I represented, know how to ignore and move on. Okay, you don't have to keep everything buried in your chest. We're living in a very frantic pace. So keeping up speed in that frantic pace is going to be itself a challenge. So don't burden your heart further. Okay. So important, if you're happy with everyone, then surely you've ignored many fault of others. Okay. Please learn to do that. Hug harder, laugh louder, smile bigger, and love longer. Okay. So basic fundamentals. Okay, that will help you in striking a correct balance and be passionate about what you do. For those of you who are football buffs, I picked this up from Manchester United. Okay, be passionate about what you want to do. There is no substitute. Okay, between me and Vijay, we are 54 years old today. Okay, but we're still passionate about what we try and do. We're still passionate about what we want to learn and unlearn. Okay. And to achieve that, you really can't pole vault, right? So you have to take an approach which is a crawl, walk, and run approach. Okay. How many kilometers or how many years do you walk? Those old days when we used to plan our career over 3 years is gone. Okay. But think big, start small, and scale fast is what I would recommend you to do. Okay. And be passionate about what you're doing. Old Chinese saying, which says that if you have fun in what you are doing, you don't have to work a single day in your life. Okay, so enjoy what you're doing. There is no harm changing. Okay, as I said, predominantly there are three functions that come up when you do after engineering. You could either be in coding development, you could be in sales, coding development linked to solutioning, or you could be in delivery. Okay, but whatever you do, if you are not liking it, remember that next 35 years have to be spent there. I realized that immediately after engineering. Okay, quite a few of our friends, joined sales, and I was of the mindset to say, sales? Then why did I do engineering? I could have done plain BSc and joined sales. Okay, so I picked up an R&D engineer's job with Motwane, who came to our company then, to the campus then, and only to realize in 7 months' time that I'm not cut out for it. Okay, I didn't visualize myself to take 30 years to become a general manager. Okay, and quite honestly, didn't have the mental faculty to doing the coding that was required to be done then. So I changed. I did an MBA and moved on in life. So you may not know everything as you start. Okay, but as I said earlier, experiment, think fast, change, and keep moving. Now, while this line is said by Abraham Lincoln, okay, whatever you are, be a good one. I fondly remember this statement being made by our head of department, okay, in computers, Madam Shukla, okay, and she stated something very similar, okay, which was to say, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, always remember to be a good human being. Okay, it's very difficult, trust me. Okay, but if you keep that in the back of your head and keep polishing it from time to time, you will see that it has an impact in what I said earlier, which is in terms of trying to build a network, trying to cultivate friends, okay, and then keeping up with it. None of us are perfect. Learn how to let go of imperfections that I talked about also in the last few slides. Okay, but keep learning and thriving. The art of the possible is now, I will talk about two videos. Okay, one is the one that I talked to you in the beginning, which was in terms of work-life balance and the 5 balls that you need to juggle. Okay, work is something that is if it gets broken, can still be repaired, but the other 4 cannot. So I'll come to that video after this. This is a video by someone who works for the United Nations, okay, and where he talked about collaboration. He talked about teamwork, and he said the power of one. The whole is greater than sum of its parts. Okay, so as you listen to the video, you will also realize, okay, that it is not mathematically true, okay, but 1 plus 1 could be 11, could be 21, or could be 23. The representation is essentially to state that collaboratively, you can do a lot more than what you can do individually. If you want to walk a mile, you can walk alone, but if you want to run several miles, then you'll have to create a culture, a network, and work collaboratively across organizations. So let me play this out for you. Okay, I just hope that I'm in a position to also have the audio getting transmitted to you. Okay, and in the meantime, guys, if you have any questions, okay, and remember, there is no such thing as a stupid question. Okay, so please, don't keep anything within yourself. I've seen guys who, when we joined engineering, used to struggle with the Queen's language, or rather the King's language now, but were excellent leaders. Okay, as I saw them over the years, they were such great leaders that people used to swear by them. Their team used to swear by them. So there are things that people will work on and improve upon themselves. Okay, and there's no such thing as a poor question. One
of the most important lessons that I encountered.
Is the audio coming?
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. All right. Good.
In my career and as I progress in various leadership positions is probably captured in a phrase from the late Greek philosopher Aristotle, which was simply that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, which, if you think about it, is actually arithmetically incorrect. It really is saying that 1 + 1 = 3. And though on its face and in a linear thought that is absolutely incorrect, what I've learned is it's absolutely true. That 1 + 1 can equal 3, it can equal 4, it can equal 7. The point of all of this is that when you become a leader in government or anywhere and you begin to realize that the more people work together, that the more we leverage the ecosystem or get organic in terms of our approach of our solutions, and we use partners, we collect partners, we bring partners along, that we take a larger fabric or kilt work approach to our problems, the solutions become even quicker and even faster. There is something to the synergistic effect, which is completely true, that when more and more human beings get together to do things, that the impossible suddenly becomes possible.
Yeah. So
Let's call this the.
Yeah. So this was on the power of one. Okay, and let me see if I can go back and also show you where I started off with. So any questions, guys, in the meantime, start to ask. Okay. And I'll play the video that I wanted to play at the start of the conversation as well, which is about work, family, health, friends, and spirit. Okay, how do you juggle these 5 balls? I'll just play that out as well.
Samir, I think it started and then stopped. Maybe can't hear the voice. Samir, can you hear me?
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, the voice is not coming from the video.
The voice is not coming from there. Wait a second. Let me see if I can unmute that.
Right.
Is it coming now? No. All right, fine. So I'll share this video with you. The voice is not coming. Okay, so this is all about what I alluded to earlier. Okay, and yeah. So let me see. Let me give it one more shot. If I can get the speaker audio out. Is there anything on Zoom for sharing audio? No.
For sharing, I think the last video worked. So
I know that's exactly the problem. Just a minute. Let me see one more time if I can get the audio also on. Share computer sound. Okay. Okay. Now let me see. Is it coming now? Is it coming? No. No. Anyhow, so I'll share the link.
no.
If you can't focus.
I'll bring it on. I'll share that link with you guys. Okay, so you can have a look at it. So that's what I had to sort of share, from a standpoint of getting the work-life balance, juggling across 5 balls, and increasingly trying to get a higher amount of collaborative quotient going. Okay, so this was more outside the realm of your work. As you get into work, people will teach you a lot about project management, coding, agile, waterfall, and so on. But some of these learnings, are difficult to come by. So thought about sharing this with you. Thanks a lot, Vijay and Manali ma'am, as well as all of you guys who took some time out. Happy to answer any questions that you may have. And as I said earlier, more than happy to accept your connections on LinkedIn. Okay, please leverage the power of the alumni association, of the network, okay, and whatever quote unquote good years we have still in professional life to help you all. Would be delighted and happy to be of any help.
Sure. Thank you, Samir. Are there any questions from anyone? That's fine. I also see Raghu has joined, and he's also part of our alumni. So thank you, Raghu,
Oh,
for
lovely.
joining. Yeah, as I said, he'll also be helping in some of the
I can see a
internship
few questions which have come up
projects.
here. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
there are, okay.
No, go ahead. Please continue here. Is Raghu beamable?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, sorry, I was just saying that, Samir, again, thank you. This is part of the 50s Nifty giving back, and several of our alumni have volunteered, including you, Samir. So thank you again. But yeah, go ahead, answer the question, Samir.
Yeah. So I see one from Kanad. Good or bad idea to start a business with friends? Would it hamper work ethics? So let's break it up into two parts that you've asked. Would it hamper work ethics? There's nothing on work ethics here. You can start, you can need to read your contract as you sign up. Some organizations don't really limit you and some limit you. Okay, so follow the book or the contract to a T. You will get enough chance in your life to start up something on your own. Okay, follow the contract. Okay, if it allows you, then it's fine. If it doesn't allow you, limit yourself. Okay, don't try too many circuitous routes. Okay, life as it is very complex. Okay, don't make it over complex. Focus on your job at hand. Good or bad idea to start a business with a friend? The old saying, and we are from an old age, which is to say that if you want to break a friendship, you start doing business together. Okay, but again, if you have complementary skills, there is nothing wrong. Okay, so always try and look at complementarity. Okay, to say I am good in sales, someone else is good in development, the third guy is good in debugging, fourth guy is good in delivery, and so on and so forth. So bring in complementarity. That also reduces the possibility of conflict, and everyone can strive and thrive. Okay. Okay. That's it. The question on video, etc. Kanad, I'm not sure if I answered your question. If you still have something, please ask. Pranali has raised her hand. Please go ahead. You're on mute. Hello?
Yeah, Pranali, I think you have
Yeah.
raised your hand. So if you have a question, unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Go ahead. Your voice is slightly feeble, so you possibly need to get to your headset or microphone closer. Yeah, Pranali, you've gone on mute now. Anyone else in the meantime, guys? The 70 of you. Okay. And please start inculcating this habit of asking questions. It's very, very important. Okay, because otherwise it's taken for granted. In sales, they will say, okay, fine, I told you 100, you didn't have a question. That means 100 is your target. Okay, so this is not the forge where they ask you koi shak and you say nahi. Okay, so please raise your hands to ask as many questions as you can, because after all, you're only trying to understand the problem and to debug it and decipher it to drive an outcome. So be outcome focused. Okay, whether you get into a meeting or you get into delivering of a project. Yeah, any questions, guys? Anyone else? Fine.
So I think Pranali said she has network issues. So Pranali,
No
go ahead,
worries.
send your question to Monali ma'am, and then Samir will be able to answer later, I'm sure.
Yes, any questions, students? Yes, sir, one question in chat box.
I answered that. Chat network is how we can make a group of project. I am not sure, Gayatri, I understood this. You are saying you want to make drive a project and make a group? Is that what the question is? That you have a project in mind and you want to constitute a team? Is that what the question is? I believe that is what the question would be. So you will learn that very fast when you start to do your final year project. Okay, that how do you bring a team together. Okay, that's your first step in learning in terms of how you bring a team together. And it's not necessarily that two roommates from the same stream or staying together will be project mates as well. Okay, quite a few of us were not. Okay, so you will then try and bring in complementarity. Okay, as I said earlier, from a skill standpoint and possibly also from a personality standpoint. Okay, and obviously there is no such thing as this being very scientific. It's a science and an art. You will learn from it as you move ahead. But typically, you say this is a project. This project has these 3 deliverables. These are 5 activities that I need to do, and match to these activities. I think this is the time of team composition I need. Okay, I need someone who can code. I need someone who's good in architecture. Okay, I need someone who's good in testing, and I need someone who's good in compiling and making a report. Okay, so that's what you will need to do. See, skill set required to get into sales is essentially, people look at sales, and I would say that for my teenage son also, to say that it's an accelerated path to grow. It's a big misnomer. Okay, sales, and if you look at today's CEOs, majority of them were CFOs in companies. Okay, so they are not necessarily will come in from a sales background. Uh, so from a skill set of sales, you will need to be thick-skinned. Okay, which is to say that you will need to take failures in your stride. You should have the power to network, as I said earlier. Okay, build up a network which allows you to use over your next 30, 35 years or 40 years of your professional life. And the third would be that you don't give up on failures. Okay, because not every interaction that you do with the customer would lead to a sale. Okay, whereas if you are in delivery, the project is already there. Okay, and you need to deliver against that particular task. So you have to figure out intrinsically. I think it's more from a personality standpoint to say, am I cut out for sales? Matlab, you'll have to act like a Mahatma Gandhi. I had customers who used to tell me, general managers, visiting the corridors, walking the corridors, telling me that, Sameer, मेरा आदमी उठा के लेके जाएगा क्या? तो बोला, नहीं बॉस, मेरे को तो डील चाहिए. Okay, in some cases where the customer was not giving the deal, okay, then you used to ask him, okay, to say, okay, fine, boss, you don't give me this deal, but I'm here only. I'll come for the next. Okay, so basically, it is more an intrinsic quality to say, are you an outgoing guy? Okay, do you like to network? Can you take failures? Okay, and live on a quarter to quarter basis, as I said, QSQT, quarter se quarter tak. You're as good as your last sale.
So yeah, thanks, Samir. I think just to respect everyone's time, maybe we take one last question. I think Rishikesh, okay, you have raised your voice or no, your hand. Maybe if you can ask your question, and then others, maybe if you still have questions, you can reply to the feedback form ma'am has given, and feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn and ask your questions. But Rishikesh, if you have a question, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So should we conclude? So I request Achal to propose vote of thanks.
Good evening,
Hello,
everyone.
audible, sir?
On behalf
Hello?
of
Wait, Achal. Sir, should we conclude?
Yeah, I think let's then yes. Just to respect everyone's time, let's try doing that. And then I think if, like I said, if people have questions, I'm sure Sameer will be happy to answer them offline. So feel free to send your questions, and yeah.
Yes. So I request one of our student, Achal Patni, to propose vote of thanks. Achal, next to you.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of everyone here, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Sameer sir for joining us today and sharing his valuable experience. With over 30 years of proven leadership and innovation, especially in fields of sales, business development, and AI, You have shown us what it means to build not just a beautiful business, but to pioneer technologies like India's first English automatic speech recognition and text-to-speech engine. Your journey from leading teams at companies like Nuisance Incorporate and Tech Mahindra to your commitment to personal growth and community service is truly inspiring. We are grateful for the insights you have shared, and we know your story will resonate with us all for a long time. Thank you again, Mr. Samir, for your time, your wisdom, and for you being with us. I would also like to thank Monali ma'am for arranging this valuable session. Thank you all for joining today. Thank you.
Yes. So I thank Pranali Shinde madam also, who has also joined as a faculty, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
Yes, hi Pranali, yes.
Yes.
So she is our staff from AIDS department, sir.
Okay, sure. Hey, hello,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, sir. Should we leave now, Vijay, sir?
Yeah. So I'll send the recording to you, Manali ma'am, and then please feel free to share that with everyone. And again, thanks, Samir, for your time. And as said, we'll try to do a few more of these. Thank you
Yes,
again.
sir. I would like to thank you also for all the communication because it was possible only because of you, Agrawal, sir. So I would like to thank you also.
Sure. Absolutely,
Yes.
my pleasure. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good
Thanks.
rest of the weekend.
Yes.
Bye-bye.